taking a trip back to 1976 with the only Carpenters tribute show that has both a Karen and a Richard.
Only yesterday, don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? You said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby.
That voice gets me every time. And here they are joining us live. It's Sally Olson and Richard Mills joining us this morning. We really appreciate you being on the program, and I know you have a performance here in town on September the 4th, and we'll talk all about that and how people can get tickets and see you guys live. But you know, whenever I hear that voice, it gets me, Sally, and I imagine that it goes through you as well.
Absolutely. It's such an honor and a joy for me to be able to carry on the musical legacy of Karen and the Carpenters.
Okay, so Sally, you started this as a one-act deal as Karen Carpenter years ago, but then Ned Mills comes into your life, and now you have a Richard. Tell me how you guys got together.
Sure. So yeah, I was performing as Karen Carpenter in Vermont. I'd started doing this show in 2015. And by about 2018, I got to the point where I wanted to take the show to the next level. And I needed somebody to actively play the role of the brother Richard in the show. So through some mutual friends of ours, and I didn't know Ned at the time, but I ended up coming out to Las Vegas. I wanted to audition for Legends in Concert, and I now perform with Legends as well as having our own show. So on that trip, I met Ned, and he was very interested in the project, and he was the perfect person to play that role. And we've been working together ever since, and the show's really taken off in the last couple of years.
So Ned, did you know you were a Richard Carpenter from the jump, or did you have to be convinced?
I had to be convinced a little bit. I have done tributes as other performers. I used to do a tribute to Jerry Lee Lewis. So this is quite a change from that. So yeah, and also I was very naive at first about the complexity of Richard, because a lot of people don't realize what a phenomenal jazz pianist and classical pianist he was. So I had some very big shoes I had to fill.
Well, that's good. If you knew how to do the Jerry Lee Lewis thing, then you could just morph right into this role as well. Your adorable doggy, Lola.
Lola, say hi. She's usually not up at this hour, so hi.
Probably neither are you.
Yeah, that's true.
For me, it's lunchtime, but you guys,
yeah.
You're used to staying up late. So Sally, you really have the voice down. And I can't imagine that trying to emulate Karen Carpenter is an easy thing, but you have her contralto vocal style down. She doesn't have this big booming voice, but it's the nuance in her voice that makes her so different from every other singer.
That's right. Karen had this technique, and I think it was really natural for her, that she would sing kind of quietly. Of course, in recordings and live, it wouldn't come across as quiet as it was because she was using a mic, but she would sing very close to the mic. And it gave it that quality as if somebody was singing, you know, especially for you, and kind of whispering in your ear. And that's one of the things that makes Karen's voice quality and the music just so personal and touching.
And you have it down, Pat. Listen, we have about 30 seconds left before we have to take a quick time out. You're performing at the Starbright Theatre. That's in Sun City, Summerlin on September the 4th. And people can find tickets at suncitysummerlin.com. I don't know if you knew this, but it was on September 4th, 1978, when the Carpenters were performing at the MGM in Las Vegas, when Richard Carpenter decided to call it quits for touring for the time because he was trying to get over his addiction. You are performing on the same exact night, 43 years later in Sun City, Summerlin. And it's a touching tribute to these two. We know Karen passed away all those years ago, February 4th, 1983. But you carry on the legacy, and you do it in such a beautiful way. I just hope everybody comes out September 4th, Sun City, Summerlin at the Starbright Theatre. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll take a quick time out, and we'll be right back.